Is it true that some cancers are contagious? We'll start with you, Dr. Abdulazeez.
For simplicity, the answer is false. It is not true that some cancers are contagious. I can see reasons why some people might think so, but the short answer is that no, it's not true that some cancers are contagious, and there is no risk in associating or taking care of someone who has cancer very closely. Now, that said, some cancers have been very, very strongly linked to infectious diseases, but even in those scenarios, the event of cancer is something that happens many years after the infection has happened. So, one would not, the contagion is way gone by that point in time. Other processes have followed. So the short answer is that no, there's no cancers that are contagious. Cancer cannot jump from one human to another, as far as medical science knows. But of course, Allah Ta'ala.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdulazeez. Dr. Aisha.
Thank you very much for that question. Yes, it's a very common myth that cancers could be contagious, but as Dr. Abdulazeez has said, it's largely untrue. And I think the only caveat here will be for some researchers have shown and largely discouraged cancer patients being organ donors. So because of that little risk of the hosts, that's the person that the organ is donated into, developing the cancer. So generally, as a rule, people that have had cancers are not used as organ donors, because then there could be that tiny little risk of the host developing the cancer. And for someone who has cancer currently, passing the cancer on to someone else, and that's largely untrue, except in this scenario that I have said. And then it is the causative organism, because some cancers are directly linked to infections. So it is that infection that can be transmitted from one person to another, and not the cancer that the infection will eventually cause. I don't know if that's explicit enough.
Yeah, it is. I'm following. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. I'd just like to close off that question by, again, emphatically saying that it is false. I'm not going to say it's largely untrue. It is actually false that that cancer is contagious. And even the risk of or avoiding transplants in cancer patients is mostly theoretical, because we know that cancers can metastasize. So that means that they can go from one organ of the body to another. They have that ability to travel through the bloodstream or other methods from one part of the body to another. So in theory, we think that that is possible, and we try to avoid that. And if you or I were to need an organ transplant, and that organ were to come from a patient who has that kind of thing going on, I think we would just naturally question that, even though it is theoretical. Fortunately, it's a minority of the population that don't have cancer, so it doesn't affect the numbers of transplants worldwide. So just to close out that question, because I know sometimes people hang on to the caveats we give to these answers, the answer is no. Thank you.